Hey, what's going on everyone? Greg here, and while we finally got to take a look at the M1 iMac, Tim Cook is cooking up another slew of Mac product releases that honestly shocked me when I first heard about them, from a redesigned Mac Mini to a bigger 32-inch iMac and the long-awaited MacBook Pro redesign. It seems Apple just gave us a taste of what to expect with the new M1 iMac, and we might be in for even more exciting Mac hardware. And we might not be too far off from seeing some of these Macs, because according to John Prosser, we might just be seeing a redesigned MacBook Pro at Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference on June 7th. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we're in for another interesting month of Apple news, and you'll also be helping me reach 200,000 subscribers, so it's for a good cause. And I think a subscription to my channel is also a tax write-off. Don't quote me on that, but ask your tax guy if you can. Just, make sure you give him a wink. So be like, hey, I heard about the Greg's Gadgets tax break, and I think that's how you get it. All right, so WWDC is just around the corner, and we're starting to see some very strong hints that we will see hardware at this event. Heck, even in a recent WWDC Memoji promo, people were reading the Unicode in the reflection of the glasses and basically got a cryptic set of emoji for Eat, Sleep, MacBook. And John Prosser on Twitter is basically telling us to expect a MacBook Pro at this event. He's even using the words confirmed. So, I mean, we already had another report from Mark Gurman that a MacBook Pro was coming by early this summer. So taking both of those reports into account, and the fact that we were pretty much expecting MacBook Pros to be at WWDC for like the past 6 months. And yeah, it seems very, very likely we will be getting a 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro redesign at this event. Now, if you've watched my videos on this rumored MacBook Pro, you already know what I'm gonna say, so I'll make it fast for the new viewers. Basically, we are expecting a redesigned chassis with flatter sides. Basically, think of any new product that Apple has redesigned from like the last 2 years. So the iPad Pro, iPhone 12, and even the new iMac. Expect the sides to look similar to those products. This MacBook Pro is also supposed to come with more ports now, with recent leaked diagrams showing 3 Thunderbolt USB-C ports, a MagSafe charging port, an HDMI port, and an SD card slot. There will also be a new 14-inch size, with Apple shrinking the bezels of the current 13-inch model and expanding the display area, and of course the bigger 16-inch MacBook Pro will also be coming as well, and that will replace the 16-inch MacBook Pro in Apple's lineup. These MacBook Pros will come with Apple's new M1X chip, which according to Gurman will feature 8 high-performance and 2 energy-efficient CPU cores, as well as up to 16 or 32 GPU cores. Basically, Apple's next processor is going to be faster in multi-core performance and have an even better GPU for more intensive graphic workloads or gaming. Like, for you Mac gamers out there, these next MacBooks are gonna be better, but the M1's kind of bad for gaming, so yeah. Now that was short and to the point, I think, because we've talked so much about this product already, so I didn't want to bore you guys too much, but this is probably the most likely hardware product we should expect to see at Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference on June 7th. But is it the only hardware product? Because when Apple released the first M1 Macs, they did so in multiple form factors, and we actually just got a fresh last-minute leak from John Prosser detailing what to expect out of the next M1X Mac Mini. Now, Prosser says the next M1X Mini would have a new external chassis, still made out of aluminum, but with a twist, with what he said would be a plexiglass-like reflective surface on the top. The Mini in this render also has 2 rubber strips on the bottom and a vent. Other than that, it kind of looks like the Mac Mini we have now, if not just a bit slimmed down, but it's a render, so it's kind of hard to make out. Overall, the Mini could be an interesting look, especially with that plexiglass top. We could get a nice clean design that pays homage to the acrylic glass G4 Cube. However, Apple could be going in a completely different route according to Prosser, and that this glass may actually be a two-toned color finish to look similar to the M1 iMac, which I think would be a neat idea design-wise, but I wonder if Apple sells enough Mac Minis to warrant that kind of investment in making all of those different colors, especially when this really is more of a niche product and isn't meant to stand out as much as the iMac. Now, what we do know is that this Mac Mini will be powerful, like very powerful, because it's going to have the same M1X chip with those 8 high-performance cores and 2 energy-efficient cores, the same one we just talked about in the rumored MacBook Pro, and it would probably also be in that bigger 32-inch iMac. So this Mac Mini should be pretty powerful, and if my guesses on M1X multi-core performance turn out to be anywhere close to being accurate, this Mac Mini might actually outscore some of the Mac Pro configurations, except the highest core count models. Like all other M1X Macs, this Mac Mini will be able to be upgraded to up to 64 gigabytes of memory as well. I think the bigger news for this Mini isn't the redesign, but the port selection, which seems to address the port constraint limits that the M1 currently has. On this render, we see 4 Thunderbolt USB-C ports, 2 USB-A ports, an Ethernet port, and an HDMI port. Oh, the Mac Mini, according to Prosser, will also be getting the redesigned power port that uses the same magnetic connection found on the recent 24-inch iMac. This combined with the other rumors that the MacBook Pro would be getting more ports as well, all but says that the M1X chip will feature more Thunderbolt lanes and get rid of one of the biggest cons that the M1 chip had, a lack of ports. Also, this will be an additional Mac Mini in the lineup, and Apple still plans to sell the original M1 Mac Mini alongside it, so this one will likely replace the current Intel Mac Mini and probably come in at a similar price point of around $1,000. Now, I think the M1 Mac Mini really surprised a lot of people with the amount of value that computer delivered for $699. This Mac Mini will obviously be more expensive, but for pro-level customers who want to eke out as much power as possible, I think this M1X Mac Mini will probably be similarly a great value for people who just want a desktop Mac and who already have their own accessories. The port situation also looks like it would be the same as the current Intel Mac Mini, so with those 4 Thunderbolt ports and 2 USB-A ports, that should pretty much satisfy most of the people looking to purchase this type of desktop computer. And this doesn't sound like a hard product for Apple to make, and this computer is definitely more popular with developers, so I think this would maybe be announced at the event. So this could be Apple's M1X desktop solution, and even though Prosser didn't say one way or the other if we would see this at WWDC, I'm starting to think that Apple might actually show it off there. Finally, I think after seeing the 24-inch iMac release, a lot of us were also wondering if we would see some love for the bigger 27-inch iMac, and that of course would take shape in a redesign with a bigger screen size of probably around 32 inches and feature the M1X chip just like the MacBook Pro and Mac Mini. All of these products having the M1X would draw a distinct line between Apple's consumer level M1 products and their pro level M1X products. Now, strangely enough, even though this bigger iMac has been rumored even longer than the M1X Mac Mini, I don't think we will see it at this year's WWDC based on the recent report from Mark Gurman where he said Apple recently paused development on the bigger iMac to focus on launching the 24-inch iMac. Previously, we heard that Apple was looking to include mini LED displays in one of the iMac models for this year, and it may be that the mini LED display is currently too supply constrained due to the global chip shortage, so maybe Apple is focusing on shipping those displays in more popular products like the recent mini LED 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and the mini LED display might also come to the rumored MacBook Pro. So maybe Apple is pausing development on that iMac until there is enough mini LED display components to use it for all of these products. Now, I still do expect the bigger Pro iMac to be released by the end of this year, but based on the current rumors, I feel like it's less likely we will see it at this event. But who knows? I could totally be wrong. And like I speculated in my other dub video, Apple could choose to show off products they're working on and then release them by the end of this year, just like when they showed off the Mac Pro in 2013 and the iMac Pro in 2017. Apple announced those products at WWDC and then let you order them in December at the end of the year. So there's definitely precedent for that, and Apple set a time frame of completely transitioning all of their Macs to Apple Silicon by the end of 2 years. So even though I don't expect that we will be able to order this iMac at WWDC, it's not out of the realm of possibility for Apple to announce it and then ship it later. And hey, honestly, I would be fine with that. I just really want to see what this bigger 32-inch iMac looks like. But yeah, so far it looks like some sort of hardware announcement is likely at WWDC. And honestly, we won't have to wait too much longer to see if this will happen, because June 7th is less than 2 weeks away. So if you're excited, don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, be sure to give me a like, and also let me know in the comments below. Do you expect to see any new hardware at WWDC? And what rumored product or products are you looking forward to the most? And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone. Okay, so it's late. It's late. That's why it's dark outside. I recorded this late. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Good night.